In this video, we will solve the age-old Minecraft mystery of why Guardians hate squids. Squids are the only neutral mob that Guardians will attack. You see, I theorize that Guardians are slowly collecting the abilities of the underwater sea creatures. That is how they got their spikes and tails. The only creature they haven't gotten yet is the squid. Now, we'll be uncovering the Guardians' mysterious backstory, and we'll also be explaining Minecraft's ocean monuments and an ancient war between the pirates. Enjoy the video. Guardians are spiky, thorny mobs with big tails. They seem to be made of Prismarine judging by their looks. This is confirmed by the fact that they drop Prismarine shards and Prismarine crystals. Here's the thing though, Guardians will also drop fish. At first glance, it might be tempting to think that Guardians simply just eat fish and that's why they drop them, similar to dolphins, which also drop fish. Looking at the Minecraft Mob Bestiary, an official Minecraft book with lots of lore, it says this about them, quote, Elder Guardians will also drop a water-absorbing sponge if killed by an adventurer, and if it doesn't drop a Prismarine crystal, one will find raw fish of some kind in its place. Some scholars think that this is evidence that its diet consists of fish and other natural watery food stuff, but Guardians have never been seen to wander far from their temple homes to catch them, and so we cannot be sure, end quote. So ancient researchers hypothesized that they might eat fish, but they are not sure. Well, I'm about to drop one single fact to debunk that theory that Guardians eat fish. They don't have mouths. Not much left to say about that. But now this raises the question, why do they drop fish? And it's weird how they attack squids but don't attack fish even though Guardians drop fish. Well, here's my theory. Consulting the Minecraft Mob Bestiary again, it says, quote, its eye was badly damaged, so we learned nothing of how it generates its beam, but we did discover that Guardians are hollow with no internal organs. The interior walls of their bodies are red and their spikes pierce right through them. Weird, right? Hollow on the inside with a red lining. On Minecraft Java Edition, you can see the red insides in the Guardian's texture file. Here's my theory. Fish are actually trapped inside of every Guardian. This internal capsule inside the Guardian is full of water which keeps the fish alive, even if it's not in water. This explains why Guardians don't have organs and why Guardians can live on land, even without water. My guess is that their insides are normally full of water so the fish inside can breathe. The sounds Guardians make sound like the distorted sounds of fish, which seep their way through the cracks in the Guardian's skin. This information alone doesn't help us answer the question as to why Guardians hate squids though. I mean, if they don't have mouths, there is no reason for harming these innocent little squids. So let's continue gathering clues to answer this mystery. Almost no Minecrafters know this, but Guardians have a very low 2.5% chance of dropping the other types of fish. So this means Guardians very rarely drop salmon, pufferfish, and tropical fish. Multiplying this 2.5 chance with normal fishing odds, here are the odds. It's crazy how low they are. So what could this mean? It's so specific that it feels like it can't be a coincidence. Here's my theory, which is more like a hypothesis really. Perhaps Guardians are secretly trying to collect the abilities of the underwater creatures. Think about it, fish were fused together with Prismarine to form the Guardian. They at first looked like a seemingly innocent creature. The Proto-Guardian collected the abilities of the salmon, gaining a tail. It then collected the abilities of the pufferfish, gaining its infamous spikes. Since Guardians drop salmon and pufferfish very rarely, this is likely a once in a blue moon event where they can gain the abilities of other creatures. The only other mob they're missing now is the squid. They already have the other sea creatures so there's no need to attack them anymore, but the squid is the only one left. This is kind of just reaching out, but maybe it has to do with the fact that squids are one of the few underwater creatures that can't be put into buckets. Maybe they're harder to catch or something. They attack the squids because they are trying to gain their abilities. Who knows what Guardians would look like if they gained the abilities of the squid. Maybe Guardians would finally gain a mouth plus extra tentacles. So yeah, let's hope Guardians don't take the squid's abilities anytime soon. If all of this sounds crazy, an alternate theory with no evidence supporting it is that maybe there was once a terrifying kraken squid which threatened the ocean and Guardians. It probably looked like Mob A from the 2017 mob vote. So yeah, it's either one of these two theories. Elder Guardians seem to be a variant of the Guardian which naturally grows sponge. Perhaps their sponges were harvested to be put into the sponge room inside the ocean monuments to be used for future purposes. Now we need to answer the question, how do Guardians make their infamous laser beams? My guess is that their eyes are robotic, so you could say that they're technically cyborgs. In the Minecraft Mob Bestiary, if you look at the picture of the inside of an Elder Guardian, their eye seems to look like a robotic eye. while the rest of their body seems to be made of that red tissue we talked about earlier. Guardians are the only creature in Minecraft whose eyes will follow you. This is because it is technically considered the head of a mob. A fun fact is that the Elder Guardian's eye will still follow you, even if you are invisible. If their eyes are actually robotic though, who created their eyes? My guess would be the ancient adventurers and settlers of the past, the ancient builders. They probably were the ones who built the ocean monuments. I guess now's a good time to bring them into the story, and also to figure out how all of this Guardian stuff fits into the wider lore of the game. To quickly sum it up, there long ago was an advanced group of people commonly referred to as the ancient builders. They likely built the many structures we see throughout Minecraft. A zombie plague, however, destroyed their civilization, turning them into the zombies which roam the overworld. They fled to many places, such as deep underground, to form the ancient cities. For our purposes though, we're only going to be focusing on the ones which fled underwater. These underwater ancient builders built the stone brick structures we now call the ruins built at the bottom of the seas, and judging by the magma blocks, the ancient builders likely collected these to use to help them breathe underwater. They hoped that the zombie plague above land wouldn't be able to reach them near the ocean floor. But now we need to talk about Prismarine, the block which makes up most of the ocean monuments and guardians. Prismarine seems to be an otherworldly block, and no one knows exactly where it came from. Prismarine can only be naturally found near the ocean monuments, so my current theory at the moment is that Prismarine came from outer space, perhaps in the form of a meteor. The Heart of the Sea, an item that can only be found in treasure chests, must have been inside this meteor too. An alternate theory is that these items were given by the Minecraft gods, canonical gods which can be seen in Minecraft's end screen. This would explain how underwater zombies, known as the Drowned, got their tridents, a weapon which cannot be crafted. So, Prismarine may have crashed down into the overworld and landed into the oceans. Pirates found these long ago and took the most obvious valuable item, the Heart of the Sea. The pirates didn't really know or care what the Prismarine was, but they took the Heart of the Sea anyways, since it looked valuable. They didn't know how to actually use it though, and they didn't even know that it could be crafted into a conduit with 8 nautilus shells. Since no conduits can be naturally found, I suspect that the conduit was never actually crafted. The pirates just hid the Heart of the Seas right along with the rest of their loot. Speaking of the conduit, it poses a lot of new questions to our whole Guardian dilemma. Conduits are only activated when surrounded by Prismarine, so the ocean monument seems like the perfect place for them. The thing is though, a fully activated conduit will attack Guardians, the supposed protectors of the Prismarine. So what gives? My current theory is that the conduit, and therefore the Heart of the Sea, act as a counterbalance to the Guardian, and it should have prevented the Guardians from absorbing the powers of the fish, salmon, dolphins, and pufferfish. Conduits will attack Guardians, but with the conduit stolen by the pirates, the alien Guardians started spawning. The ignorant pirates of the past stole the Heart of the Sea without knowing it could disrupt the delicate balance. The otherworldly Prismarine encapsulated a fish, becoming a proto-Guardian. The ancient builders that fled underwater noticed the Prismarine. They worshipped it and built a monument. They gave the cute little proto-Guardians robotic eyes. They worshipped the temple as if it would save them from this curse. The gold inside their temple was a symbol of their strength and the gods. Some theories propose that the temple was once above land but was flooded. This can be easily debunked though, since ocean monuments are found at the bottom of oceans, so where could the water level have been before? And if you look closely at how the ocean monuments insides are designed, it's practically impossible to get around through the entrances without being able to swim. The innocent looking Guardians obtained powers from the fishes. They haven't successfully captured Squids yet, but they try. The ancient builders realized the mistake they made and they rushed to try to put a stop to it. The best solution was to use a conduit, the original counterbalance to the invasive Guardians. This legendary conduit would kill most of the Guardians inside the temple and restore the balance. They rushed to get the ingredients. The dolphins were scared of the Guardian threat too, so they helped out the ancient builders. They showed the ancient builders the location of the pirates' bases, which were the ocean ruins. The ancient builders raided the pirates' underwater structures, turning them into the ruins, to look for the treasure map to find the conduit in the buried treasure chests. The dolphins also showed the ancient builders the way towards the pirate ship, so dolphins partially saved the day. They'll still help you find these structures since they recognize you as a descendant of the ancient ancient builders. Anyways, the ancient builders and the pirates fought a massive war, players versus pirates. The ancient builders won thanks to their deadly weapon, the trident. All pirates were killed. The ships where the battles were fought were sunk. Judging by what the drowned hold, some of the other ancient builders fished to try to retrieve the Nautilus shells, the other ingredient required to make the conduit. However, with a quite unfortunate ending, they died trying. They weren't able to find the heart of the sea before they were all infected. The air was too poisonous and was contaminated with the zombie virus. The fighting with the pirates exposed them to the toxic air. All of the underwater ancient builders became the drowned, and so the Guardians still prevail, having taken over the once holy monument. Dolphins will still help you, the player, in the hopes that you find the heart of the sea and create the conduit to get rid of the Guardians. The conduits will unfortunately attack the infected drowned as well. The drowned will be elaborated on further in a future video. What a crazy story in theory. A Prismarine meteor crashing into the oceans, the heart of the sea stolen, Guardians stealing abilities, a war between the ancient builders and pirates. Well, I hope you enjoyed this Minecraft theory. Subscribe if you liked it, and thanks for watching.